I'm sorry, I got distracted. There is literally the tiniest little bug I have ever seen somehow inside my lens. So if you see something crawling across the screen, it's the bug. Now, where was I? Bonk. Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. As it was once known as before the opening weekend of this movie, it is now being remarketed and I guess rebranded as Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. That probably should have been the title the entire time because this movie is very much about Harley Quinn. Also, this is directed by Cathy and it is written by Christina Hodson, and it stars Margot Robbie, Rosie Perez, Marie Elizabeth Winstead, Ewan McGregor, Ella J. Basco, and Jurnee Smollett-Bell. I apologize for that. Yeah, with marketing, I only ever saw the very first trailer that came out for this movie, and I honestly thought it was going to be PG-13. It is not. This movie is rated R. It is not for kids. Very much not so. But onto the movie. So for me, overall, I quite enjoyed this movie. In essence, this movie is very much about Harley becoming her own person, establishing her own sense of self-worth, her own independence, and taking back her own power and her own autonomy, because for so long she has really only been seen as like the side piece to the Joker, and really nothing much more than that. Just, oh, that's the Joker's lady. And so this movie is about her just taking back power. And something that I really enjoyed is, while she is the focus, I also enjoyed how they incorporated the other important ladies in this movie. Something that I think the writer did really well on this was just including the other women in this movie. To me, they didn't feel like, where I think there could have been a chance that, why are these other characters in there? Or why was this one specific lady in this movie? Like, she didn't really give much to the story. She didn't have much to her own story. I never felt like that with any of the characters. My point is, a big theme of this movie is very much about all of these women in this movie taking back power, taking back their autonomy, because in some way, on some level, for every single one of them, there has been a man or men in their life that has taken away their power, that has kept them down for varying reasons and to different degrees. And I really enjoyed watching their journey to taking back power. I really need to find a different synonym for this, but it's what I'm sticking with, and it makes sense. Okay, when it comes to performances, I was not disappointed with anyone. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, she was having a blast. I would say, kind of pun intended for that one. She was having an absolute blast in this film. That very much shows. I completely enjoy what she brings to this character, what she's created for this character. And I also originally saw her in Suicide Squad, and she was definitely a highlight in that particular film. Another person who was definitely loving their character and just chewing every scene that they were in was Ewan McGregor, who plays the baddie of this particular movie. He plays a character, I guess he's a mob boss, a wannabe mob boss. He's a dangerous man. End of story right there. His character's name is Roman Sionis, I believe is how you pronounce it. Hi Ewan. You made me feel incredibly unsettled. I am also a person, I don't like scary things, so I don't know, people who have higher tolerances have a higher tolerance of just the kind of characters that Ewan played. Perhaps those kind of people were not fazed by this, but woo, I was kind of squirming in my seat sometimes because he is very much a presence. He made me feel unsettled. His character is unpredictable. And he can definitely be compared to the Joker, but I feel like they are unpredictable in their own unique ways. For me, when it comes to the Joker, the Jared Leto interpretation of the Joker from Suicide Squad, that particular Joker, he's not putting on any kind of front. You get what you see. Whereas Ewan's character, he kind of tries to put on a facade of being more calm, more approachable. There is still definitely something that you can just tell isn't quite right about him, but he still tries to present himself as someone of power that is put together, but again, with that unpredictability, it's in such a way that You do not know what will set off this guy, and you do not know how he will deal with that. So good job, Mr. McGregor. Cool. Let's move on from him. Yeah, let's move on to the action of this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was thoroughly impressed. I felt that every character had their own distinct fighting style, which I definitely appreciate, and how it was shot. You could follow along with what was happening. It was dynamic, and this also just ties into the movie itself. The movie itself, I was never bored. I was always engaged with what was happening on screen. I mean, that's always a wonderful thing, isn't it? When you're not bored with the movie. Like, gosh, at the end of last year, watching Cats, my mind drifted, but that is a special thing on its own. Let's keep the focus here on, oh my god, sorry, I just thought Cats, Birds of Prey. Okay, lame joke in my head, whatever. So back on not being bored at any point with Birds of Prey, I hope I am transitioning nicely into the pacing of this film. I thought the pacing was well done. For me, I was hooked from moment go until the very end as the credits started to roll. I would say overall, it is a pretty fast-paced movie, but there are moments where the movie does pause and it lets you breathe, which I certainly appreciate. And there's quite a few moments, I would say, of levity weaved into this kind of darker story. Again, because it's rated R, they, at least for me, I think they did a good job of utilizing this particular rating. Yes, there is violence, but I think they were able to play around with just the darker nature of the main stories that are being told in this, particularly when it comes to Roman's character, Ewan McGregor's character. While I do think that this movie, it probably could have been PG-13 if it was edited in a different way. At the same time, I don't think it was necessarily a wrong decision to make this film rated R. For me, I just think it was just an issue with marketing, and as I said at the beginning, it was not clear to me that this movie was rated R. I guess my conclusion is simply, I think they did a good job of utilizing this particular rating. Also, not only is, yes, there is violence in this, but something to note, I want to say that there was 3 instances of sexual assault in this movie. That is a content warning, that is a trigger warning for anyone out there. Just keep that in mind. I hope it makes sense when I say that I do think they handled those moments with care. I think that's the best way that I can think to say it. So just be aware of that and take care of yourself on that aspect. I really enjoyed how overall the women in this film very much helped bolster each other up, helped each other up, and they never mean-heartedly or on purpose tried to beat each other down. It was very much about empowering women and women helping other women. Does that make sense? Yeah. Small things I want to say. Really enjoyed the soundtrack. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I'm not sure if I've seen her in anything else, but she's funny. Her character is fascinating. Definitely enjoyed her character, Huntress. Very important element I forgot to mention, and that is that Harley Quinn is the narrator of this story. She is the narrator of her own story, and I really enjoyed that aspect of this movie. And I want to say 3 times or so, she, not quite to Deadpool's level, but she does break the 4th wall because she looks directly into camera. And overall, I thought it was very fun. I liked that she was the narrator, and because the story is being told from her, we'll call it kind of scattered mind. The way that the story goes, sometimes it will go to a point and then she'll be like, wait, hold on, we gotta back it up here and we gotta start from this point. And then the story would continue on. So essentially it does kind of rewind time and then goes forward. It does that a few times in the movie, which it just made it feel, it was interesting. I liked that the story was told that way and it wasn't just in a linear fashion. It was a fun element. It worked. It was not confusing. At least to me, it was still easy to follow along, and I just feel overall, not only story-wise, but I want to say visually-wise, it just made everything that much more dynamic, I think is the word I'm looking for. Okay, that's it. That is my part on that. I liked that it was told from her point of view. While I am definitely, I'm kind of sad that this movie did not debut better than it did, because again, I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely recommend you all to go see it if you want to. We'll just have to see how well this movie does as it continues on. I really do hope that it has some legs, that it won't be a complete and utter failure. Honestly, I would definitely love to see another Harley Quinn movie. Okay, this is very quickly becoming more rambling nonsense. So, I enjoyed the movie. Y'all should go see it. Wonderful. That is a wrap. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Bonk. Guess this is a take 2. This is why I script things, because I don't know how to stay focused. I'm trying my best.